So found another globe, sort of, it's a map, in a nice case that I'm actually considering getting for myself. And I'm gonna do this vendor a favor. I'm gonna take out the $5.99 Goodwill tag that they left on the inside, so it hides the fact that they actually want $25 for it. $25 is an absolutely perfect price, but have some couth.
Well, if you got a dollar on just a lousy down, know that I got rhythm that could suit your budget fine. You can take or leave.
I'm in Algonquin, Illinois at America's Antique Mall. Its newest rendition. I think this is the third that they have here in the Midwest. And I just finished refreshing my booth and ended up having to take an item out of my showcase. I had a couple bigger items on the bottom shelf and it was just getting too crowded and it was hard to see anything else that was in there. So I took that out and I had wanted to do a video of the mall itself because I haven't done a video here yet. So I'm going to turn it into a scavenger hunt. I don't know if this is going to work or this is going to be an abandoned project partway through, but I have decided since I'm taking my globe out, I'm going to see how many other globes I can find in the mall. So shop with me as I'm going to showcase what the America's Antique Mall of Algonquin has to offer and do some highlights, maybe, of some vintage globes that I find along the way. So as I'm approaching the mall, I'm going to start with what's probably going to be an issue. I've never seen the parking lot this full before, and I am here on a Sunday, so it's going to be busy inside, and I do not want to be videotaping people's faces. So we'll see what the video ends up doing. There might be a lot of aiming down and some close-ups, but for now, we are showing the entrance into America's Antique Mall, Algonquin. So unlike my other location, this is not restricted to antiques only. They do have a lot of vintage, a lot of antiques, but obviously there's a mix. But second booth in, we've got a vintage Classica light-up globe with decorative wood base. So much bigger than the one that I took out of my booth, but nice piece of vintage, even though it lights up. So this booth caught my attention and I saw this little bowl over here on the side and there's all these little round globes, but none are actually globes. Still a cool booth though. All right, admittedly, it's been a couple of aisles, but I rounded the corner and I found more. So we actually have a mix. So we've got a globe bank for $25. Another globe bank, also for $25. I think I actually have that. I'll just show, I just did a little vignette in my house of some globes. I think I have that one. I'll just show that up maybe a part of this video. So this is the little vignette I set up. I had this drum table that I had to move because I got a different piece of furniture. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but for right now, it's sitting in the middle of my loft. Kind of like I've created an entry hall table and I don't have an entry here. But I grabbed some of the globes that were cluttering up the shelf that I showed when I showed my menus, then just kind of created a vignette, which I don't do all that often. Not sure it's gonna stay. For right now, it's serving a purpose and kind of like what I did. Take suggestions if anyone has any ideas of how to mix it up a little bit. But that's my globe collection. And the reason I was selling the one in my booth is because as the largest one, it was the hardest to display. So these are smaller and that's what I wanted to show. And here's another one for 18. I actually like this size. I like that they're all banks, and this one actually still has the bottom, which half of them they're usually missing. So that's actually a good price for a finished one. So nice little display they've got with 3 vintage globes. So it's always going to be the booths that have that touch of industrial that will end up having a globe. And there it is. Kind of tucked back here in the back on a nice looking table, actually. And it's actually pretty much the same size as the one that I had. Metal curve, arc holding it, wooden base. They've got $34 on theirs. I think that's comparable to what mine was. Mine was like 28 or 38, something like that. It's a nice big piece. It gives a nice statement if you've got the space for it, which they do. Well, I got more industrial, so I assumed I'd find a globe, and I did. Just not quite the globe I thought I would find. But it's gonna count. We've got Santa checking out his list against the globe on a Grandeur Noel animated musical Santa and Elves World Globe spinning music box. So something spins. I guess maybe the globe itself spins. And coming out of that booth, walk right into another globe. This is one of those nice floor standing ones. Replogal Globe, one of the most famous, probably a name you've never heard, but now that you've heard it, trust me, almost every globe you ever find will be made by Replogal Globes, which is actually based outside Chicago. Nice looking piece for only 49 bucks. Been a long time since I've seen this much M.A. Hadley Louisville stoneware in one place, and I've never seen such a large, this is a 13-inch charger. Never even seen something that big, but you know, once I stopped looking at that, I found another globe. So I like the looks of a lot of the artwork on the wall, and what caught my attention was actually the sign for this booth, Four Winds Vintage. And look, they have a globe. I have a feeling it's not for sale since it's actually their sign for their booth, but pretty cool booth and a pretty cool image. So I'm completely enamored with this booth, and lucky for me, there's a globe, but well, it's a nice globe. Let's see what it costs. $58. Nice tabletop. But check this out. These are sewing bobbins that have been repurposed into hourglasses. And looks like maybe a thermometer? No, I guess that's an hourglass as well. These are so cool. $89.50. You can see it's already putting out the time. So they probably got modern glass to just go in. What a creative idea of taking these old parts, and you find these spindles actually fairly often, particularly on the East Coast, because you know, fabric manufacturers would go through tons of thread. So the fact that you could turn them into something else, I'm loving this. So cool they had a globe, but man, those are awesome. So this is my showcase. We're in aisle BB. I'm 23 for now, because actually I've only been here a month and I'm actually already moving. There's a space opening up on the other side, which will put me more in the aisle with, like, opposite the regular booths, because you can see I'm kind of like lost in a sea of showcases. It's great that they have tons of showcases, but it does kind of make you get a little bit lost. But this is what I'm doing. So the globe that I showed came out of the space. I had it down there in the bottom, but again, it was blocking too much, and I wanted to showcase the baby picture with the dachshund in it. So that's why that came out. So you can't buy that globe from me, but hey, I do have another globe. I've got the bowl that I used for the ephemera bowl challenge that I did with Katie from Vintage and Vinyl. Decided to sell that, so that's available, but no other globes. But hey, as you saw, got tons of spaces, tons of showcases. If you're looking for another globe, I'm sure you can find one. All right, didn't even come close to doing the entire mall. This place is huge, so, but found some stuff, hopefully showcased a few booths. I realized after I did most of the video, I never wrote down or indicated which booth I was in, so if you actually wanted any of those globes, good luck. So I'll try and do better next time. I don't know, let me know what you think of this kind of a video, kind of a scavenger hunt of finding a certain item. So, I don't know, we'll see, kind of came to me, thought it'd be interesting. It was something different. So thanks so much for watching the video. Thanks for your time. Thanks for putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.